Hello and welcome to the Crafsman Show. My name is your host, the Crafsman. I woke up today sounding a lot different than normally how do I sound. And I just made a video yesterday for my direct supporters on Patreons.com and uploaded it. Sounded just fine, just normal. I went to bed feeling good about today. I'm going to make a video. And when I woke up this morning, and it's still, you know, kind of dark up in there. The sun ain't come all the way up yet. And I started talking. I said, baby, there's an intruder up in our house. And she said, baby, that's you talking. I said, oh, gracious sakes alive. But I mean, I feel good. But, you know, I just sound different. Without further ado, let's just see if we can make us a little video. I got my torch today. I know in previous videos, I have shown you how that you can silver solder using a silver solder that is high strength and very easy to use. So basically with solder, you apply some flux to the metal. The two different pieces that you join in, you want to heat both of them, and then you apply your solder to it. And that is going to flow into the joint. It's going to wick up into between the two pieces. So, you know. So let's say you're making your little belt buckle and, you know, you want to put something on it. So, you know, you would just put your flux and then, you know, coat that side, coat that. You apply your heat to it. And anytime you got two different size pieces, this one obviously going to require less heat. This one right there is going to require more heat. Because it's thicker, it's going to take longer to heat up. And you want to do that as evenly as possible. It is more difficult when you're trying to join two different thickness of pieces like that. But anyway, so soldering, what I talked to y'all about before. Now, sometimes when people sticking two pieces of metal together, they call that welding. Welding is going to take, with welding, you really going to be just joining the metal at a different level. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be fusing. It's more like a fusion process. With traditional welding, you're going to be joining things together, okay? So just what I'm showing y'all today is probably more accurately would be classified as brazing. And so your brazing rod that you use, it looks like a welding rod, but it's really technically a brazing rod. It's going to have a metal in it, different than these two metals, but it's going to wick up in it, you know, or wherever that joint might be, it's going to wick up in between it. Does that make sense? I just wanted to be careful to clarify that brazing, soldering, welding, all got their own different definitions and things. So the point of my video is, even though we're not technically welding, I want to see, can you take a hand torch and a brazing rod, which I'm going to show, it's up inside this. So can you take just that right there in your metal? And can you make a joint that's as strong as a regular welded joint? That's the whole goal today for that. I'm going to set up the little hands right there. Do y'all see the dynamic of shots that I'm trying to do? Craftsman, that's a beautiful shot. I like how you did that. Thank you for that. I don't know. So this right there is just a couple of antique cut nails. Can you see? It's called cut nails, aka box cut nails. A lot of times what I would like to do is just to get that on down to clean metal, you know. But I said, you know what? Let's just see what kind of a joint we can get with just these nails like that. It basically is a silver solder. High, very, very high percentage silver. But you could use it on stainless, cast iron, brass, copper, steel. You could use it on all kind of stuff. So all I got right here is my torch. And this is a map gas. It's a map gas torch right there. And then this little this welding brazing rod right here. I almost called that a welding rod, but y'all going to fuss at me if I said that. It pretty much is a brazing rod, you know. The Muggy Weld. Alright, so I'm just going to apply some heat to it. So that right there is actually on fire, so I gotta put that out. But we're going to let this cool off, alright? You do not want to quench the metal after you have soldered it. You want to let it sit and just cool off. Now you can put it in your pickle, you know, if you do that. So I'm going to take this over by my little dust collector and hook this little wire brush and scrape it and just kind of clean things up a little bit. Then we're going to check it out. But what I want to say is this is a real crazy test, you know, because usually you would want to take something like that, you know. That's closer to bare metal. Ain't got no oxidations really on it. Things would have flowed a lot easier. But right out the gate, I said, let's try some of these rusty old cut nails and see what happens, you know. So that's the result right there. And there's still some little flux and things still on it. And you know, not the prettiest job, just to let you see what the joint looks like. You can see we have some little excess solder right there. And that is one thing. Getting the excess of silver is real easy to do with this rod like that. It's just the same, honestly, as if you was, you know, feeding your, you know how some people, they'll just be, you know, and they'll just be feeding it. Feeding the solder right into the joint like that. And so, you know, one of the benefits of just regular silver solder like that is that you can take, you know, and just cut off just the amount that you would need for your joint, you know. Oh, well, and even if you wanted to, you could take that and hammer it down flat and then fit it right up in between the joint instead of, you know, leaving it like that cylindrical. So that's a little object. So I started to ask and say to myself, can we take and silver solder something that big together? Now that does not make sense. Look how thick that is. Look at that. Y'all know already that's going to take some heat to get both of these to the level. That's something you just would weld that, you know. You know, you would put that together and just hit it with a welder and you done with it, alright? But again, I'm just testing a little product right there, alright? I'm just feeling crazy, whimsical today. Let's just try this thing. I just took and wire brushed that right there and that right there. Clean. Let's join these together. Alright, this calls for some jerry rigging. Alright, so I got me some thick wire right there. Easy to bend, easy to manipulate. Thank you for hanging with me this far. Alright. I forgot to tell y'all, whenever you are doing stuff like this, you need to wear a respirator. Alright. We got a respirator. Alright, now we're just going to wait about 3.5 days for that to cool off and check in on it. I just want to reiterate again that this is not something that you really want to do. I'm just out here crazy pushing things to the limit, alright? So I just want to emphasize that. You might be wondering what temperature that is right there. Our little crazy project right here has cooled down enough to where I think we can disassemble it. To be honest, I really did not think that would even work. I thought that I would just do this and I would say, okay, as you can see, you should never try to use silver solder on something that thick, yada yada. But it is still, let me just see. Let's just see. Yeah, so that explains why I'm still feeling pretty warm, is because of the temperature. You know, I can hear y'all out there saying, Crafsman, just use a welding machine. Come on, crazy, what you doing? But the whole point of this is something that I'm just testing it, because this is what I would consider to keep around for repairs and things like that. Especially if you're somebody like me and you don't have welding machines. You just got your little torch right there, little cheap stuff. And you know, you say you got something you need to repair and need some integrity. Hold on, let me do that again. You need, and it needs some integrity, then this might be an ideal product. By the way, did y'all see the way I had this thing orientated? I was trying to heat the one above to kind of pull, to wick that silver up into it. Where the heat go, the silver flow. Let's see. And I was able to get it in between there like that. So that's pretty neat. If you have it up on a mesh, then you can heat up underneath it. Kind of crazy to just stand it up like I did it, but if y'all haven't learned by now, Crafsman living on the edge every day living on the edge right there. Now something like that right there is a good candidate for just regular old traditional, you know, silver solder. And you would come in, you know, take your flux and just kind of rub it on there. And then just take your little piece. Whenever you're ready, let's see. Ooh. There we go. And then just take your little piece of silver solder, set it right on that little crevice, right, that little joint right there, and then heat it, and it'll wick up into it. But like I said, today we're focusing on just using this one little product right there and a hand torch. Alright, so this time I wanted to try and just give me a little bit, not do it over too much, because, you know, it's easy to get this stuff globbing and dripping everywhere. So I tried to take a little bit of care this time. You know, I would say again that that's not what you want to do. Something, this is heavy right there. You want to be using a welding machine, you know, something. This is a generally soldering for small things, you know, jewelry type thing, but maybe a belt buckle, you know what I'm saying? But I've had this Muggy Weld since probably before I got started on YouTube, but right when I got started, you know, somewhere. Let's see, probably had the thing about 3 years or so. And I just like to keep it on hand for a little repair job. In a situation where you do not have a welding machine, pretty strong stuff, you know, for doing repairs and things. I said, you know, this good to have on hand if you ever want to do some repairs, or if you want to make a YouTube video doing crazy things with it, things that you would never do in real life, you know. I'm going to back the camera up and we're going to do a little drop test. And I'm going to turn the microphone volume down. Now I'm quite confident that this can be broken. But you know, sorry about that, Ray. I'm going to have to edit this in my edit, and to make it quiet, you know. But oh, that's the one right there that's going to break it. Let's see where the hammer is at. It's about to be Katie bar the doors right there, but you know, we got to test things out, you know. So as you can see, we got us a gap right there. And this is a pretty good sure way to break that right there. All right, that's pretty neat right there. Look at that. Well, just consider me to be impressed by that. This is extreme examples of how you might use this. With metal things, I always try to use a mechanical connection, drill, pin, attach, fix things together mechanically before relying on a weld, a joint, you know, a solder joint like that right there. It is expensive. I will tell you that. It's a specialty product, and as such, it is an expensive product. All right. So you're not going to go out and buy you 100 of these rods and just start using them all day long. Well, you might. You might do. I don't know. But, you know, for me, I could afford one of these and just, you know, I'm going to keep it in a little PVC container to keep the moisture and stuff off of it. And so I could just keep on using it every now and then. Craftsman, I hope your voice gets better. Go, you and me both. Because I don't know what's this stuff. Like when life gives you apples, you make apple jacks and things like that. And so I am going to take advantage of the voice the way I sound right now and go ahead and just record me a whole bunch of stuff in my sound booth. Welcome to the sound booth. Craftsman like that little character on the little Disney thing with the ocean. Like I lost my voice. Cruella de Vil have took my voice away. That's what it feels like to me right now. In case I ever need somebody, a granny or somebody character. All right. Craftsman, I done told you. Hey, Craftsman, would you like to get you some cookies? But you can make you a durable metal joint just using a torch, not a hammer, let's see. A torch and some Muggy Weld right there. This is your friend, the Craftsman, signing off. I want to apologize to you sincerely for the differential of this video. I know that it's not the same what I normally do, but I said, you know, the show must goes on. And I came up out here and start talking like an old Billy Goat, whatever. Hopefully my voice get back right soon. In the meantime, I love y'all and keep steady crafting. Craftsman out. I mean Ursula, not Cruella. What I'm talking about? That's 100 Dalmatians. Craftsman have not lost his mind. He only has lost his voice. Craftsman, you done lost the... Oh, the light went out. Anyway.